We spend so much time looking for answers. But what if the real key to understanding is the question itself? Today, we're diving into a powerful, ancient technique for thinking and learning. This is our explainer on the art of the question, the Socratic method. All right, let's just jump right in with a big one. Think about this. If we could create an artificial intelligence that learns on its own, does it actually think like us? I mean, really think. Let that one sink in for a second. It's a massive question, right? And it's the perfect example of the kind of problem we're going to be tackling. So, where do you even start with a question that huge? It feels almost impossible. Well, turns out there's a framework for that. A way to learn by asking, not by being told. And that's what the Socratic method is all about. So, what is it exactly? Well, at its heart, the Socratic method is a kind of guided conversation. It's not about a teacher standing up and giving a lecture. Nope. It's about a facilitator asking a series of really smart questions to help you, or a group, examine your own beliefs and assumptions. It's about reasoning your way through complex stuff together. It's a process of discovery, not just getting information dumped on you. And this really highlights the huge shift in roles, doesn't it? Think about a typical classroom. The teacher is the sage on the stage, giving out all the answers. But with the Socratic method, the teacher becomes a guide on the side. They're not giving you the answer, they're asking the questions that help you find it yourself. The whole vibe changes from just passively listening to being an active participant in your own learning. Okay, so why is this so effective? What's the big deal? Well, because a really good Socratic question is like a key that doesn't just open one door, it opens a whole hallway of them. It forces you to connect ideas from different places you would have never thought to link together. Let's try another one. Here's a question for you. Is scientific knowledge ever final? I mean, we tend to think of science as this big book of settled facts, right? But is it really? And boom, just like that, you're not just talking about science anymore. That single question pushes you into the philosophy of science. It makes you grapple with the limits of certainty. Like, can we ever be 100% sure about anything? And then it brings up all these questions about ethical responsibility. See how it just explodes outward into all these different fields? Okay, so let's circle back to our original AI question, because that exact same branching effect happens there too. This is not just a coding problem. I mean, think about it. To really dig into whether an AI can think, you can't just talk to computer scientists. You're instantly pulled into psychology. What even is consciousness? And then you're deep into philosophy. What's the definition of thinking in the first place? It forces all these different disciplines to talk to each other. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? This isn't just some dusty old philosophical idea. It's a super practical toolkit you can use for pretty much anything, from running a better meeting at work to just, figuring out a tough decision in your own life. And the process is actually pretty straightforward. There are basically 3 steps. First, you kick things off with a big, juicy question, the kind you can't just Google the answer to. Second, you get people talking to each other, not just answering back to you. It has to be a real discussion. And third, and this is the key, you use really powerful follow-up questions to go deeper. Okay, that third step is really where the magic is, the follow-up questions. The first big question just opens the door. These are the questions that actually walk you through the house. Let's look at 3 of the most powerful ones. This one sounds almost too simple, but trust me, it's a game changer. Just asking, what do you mean by that? It forces everyone to be crystal clear. We throw around huge words all the time, right? Words like fairness or innovation or even thinking. This little question makes us stop and actually define what we're talking about. Okay, next up in your toolkit, this one is all about building on solid ground. What evidence supports your claim? This question is what separates a casual opinion from a real argument. It's the moment you have to show your work. What's the data? What's the logic? What's the actual reason you believe what you're saying? And the last one, this one is amazing. It's a fantastic tool for making any idea stronger. Could someone disagree, and why? Basically, you're asking someone to play devil's advocate for a moment. It forces them to step outside of their own bubble and really consider a different point of view. It's like a stress test for your ideas, and it almost always makes them better. So let's recap. We've talked about what the Socratic method is, why it's so powerful, and even looked at a few specific questions you can use. But what's the whole point of all this? What's the end game? Because here's the thing, the goal isn't really about getting to the final answer. It's about the journey of getting there. It's about getting better at thinking critically, at questioning our own assumptions, and at seeing how complex and interesting the world really is. This is the skill that makes us better leaders, better problem solvers, and honestly just better at understanding each other. The process, that's the real prize.
So, in that spirit, I'm going to leave you with one last question to chew on. If a memory can be totally erased, completely wiped from someone's mind, did the event that created it ever truly happen for that person? There's no easy answer to that one, is there? And that, my friends, is exactly the point.